Welcome to Modern Management of the Older Adult, brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence.
Hello everyone, my name is Kay Mayordomo. I'm an outpatient physical therapist and ATA with the Modern Management of the Older Adult Division of ICE Physio. I am coming with you today to talk about SMART goals for the older adult. In rehab, specifically PT and OT, it can be time consuming to have to think about a SMART goal and being as specific as possible. I get it. I do have to admit, there have been times where I've been lazy about creating SMART goals in the past, but reflecting back on it, it just made it so much harder for me to track the patient's progress, see how close we are to getting to the goal that they want to achieve. And then when things started to get hectic in the clinic, it prevented me from staying on track with the goals that the patient wanted to achieve. So today we will dive into what components are necessary in creating a SMART goal and making it as simple as possible. Because we know that documentation already takes forever. So we're just going to break down the questions that we need to ask for each component of a SMART goal and tackle it. So in this podcast, we are going to use one case throughout the whole thing to make it easy to follow. So the first component of a SMART goal is S, specific. So what is the patient's goal? What do they want to be able to do when they are done with physical therapy and occupational therapy? Sometimes during our subjective, our patients will tell us, well, I want to get stronger, I want to get healthier. But if we write that in our goal, how do we know when we've achieved that they are stronger? What kind of things do they want to be stronger for? So our job is to keep asking why. Why do you want to get stronger? Why do you want to get healthier? And if they say, well, I want to be able to get on and off the floor. Why do you need to be able to get on and off the floor? And they might say, well, I want to be able to play with my grandkids because I really love to spend time with them. When you keep asking why with curiosity, we not only get to the specifics of what the patient's goal is, but we get to hear about why it's relevant to them, which we will talk about a little bit later. So the next component is measurable. How will you track the patient's progress? It's not necessarily enough for us to go, the patient will be able to get up from the chair more easily or improve fall risk. This is the part where our subjective measures and our objective measures come in handy. So let's say on day 1, we test the patient's ability to get up from the ground and they're using their hands on furniture to get up. They needed min assist from you to initiate the movement from the bottom of the half kneel position. And let's say we ask the patient, okay, so how difficult did that feel for you from 0 to 10 on the modified Borg, let's say? And they say, well, dang, hey, that was pretty much like an 8 out of 10. So we can utilize this RPE to gauge whether the patient is still struggling, let's say in 6 weeks, or use the patient-specific functional scale for them to gauge where they are at after 6 weeks. Sometimes we'll throw in MMTs in our goals, but we know that every clinician is different with how much force we place on a patient, and it doesn't really tell us like, okay, if they score a 5 out of 5 on manual muscle test for quads, how does that quantify for getting on and off the floor, which we need to be able to lunge or inchworm up. So in our note or in our documentation, we can note whether the patient still needs to use their hands on furniture and whether they need assistance from the clinician or caregiver as progress as more of an objective measure for us to track. Next thing is attainable. Is this goal that you guys are creating within reach or realistic for the patient? Consider where the patient is starting and what they anticipate they need to be able to do. Think about the steps that it will take to get there. Let's say the patient is currently not able to get onto the ground at all. Let's say fear is on board, muscle weakness is on board, sensitivity in an old knee replacement from like, let's say 10 years ago. It may be less attainable for them to have them get onto the floor completely at first. A short-term goal may be to get the patient to tolerate even putting any pressure on the knee so that they can kneel on the ground with less than 1 out of 10 pain, let's say. with a long-term goal of being able to completely kneel onto the ground and get onto their stomach completely. Next part is relevant. So how will this goal improve the patient's life? Why is it significant to them? With our why question asking, it could lead us to find out that the patient really loves to spend time with his or her grandkids, and they want to be able to get onto the floor to play with them because they have to babysit them once a week, and they don't want to struggle to get up from the floor when they have this grandkid running around in their house. So not only will it make your goal more robust, knowing why it's relevant in the patient's life, but it will also show payers, it will show you, and it will show and remind your patient what they are working towards when they are working on those interventions with you, and they're just like, dang, this is so hard. I don't know if I want to do this. And you can remind them like, hey, we talked about this in the very beginning, and this is what you said you wanted to be able to do. So that is relevant. How will this goal improve the patient's life? Time bound. So the last part of our goal is how long do you anticipate it will take a patient to reach their goal? Putting a time frame on a goal is important because it lets everyone know, you, the patient, Medicare, other healthcare providers. It lets everyone know how long you anticipate that they will be in your care. Plus, it helps us reevaluate it after a certain amount of time. Like, let's say we make a goal for 12 weeks from now. You can retest where they are at 6 weeks. Are you close to that goal? Do you need to readjust it to make it more attainable in the time frame that you chose? Or do you have to change the time frame? So if we put all those things together, so specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound, let's create a goal from that. So our goal is patient will be able to get on and off the floor at least 6 to 8 times with no assistance and no use, or let's say independently, and no use of upper extremity on furniture to be able to play with his or her grandkids with an RPE of 2 out of 10 in 12 weeks. So that goal has every component that we need. And you also want to quantify, well, how many times do you want them to get onto the floor? Are we wanting them to just be able to get onto the floor once or twice? But that might be their 1 rep max. But you can always go back to your RPE and see, well, they did it once and they said it was an RPE of like 1 out of 10. So not that challenging. But again, our goal is patient will be able to get on and off the ground at least 6 to 8 times independently with no use of their upper extremity on furniture to be able to play with his or her grandkids with an RPE of 2 out of 10 in 12 weeks. So as a recap, we want to make our goals smart so that we can track a patient's progress throughout their plan of care and make sure we are able to communicate their progress to them and whoever else is involved in their care. S is for specific, so we want to ask ourselves, what is it that the patient wants to achieve? M is for measurable. How will you track the patient's progress? A is for attainable. Is this goal currently within the patient's reach and realistic? R is for relevant. How will this affect or improve the patient's life? Why is it important to them? T is for time bound. How long do you anticipate it will take the patient to reach their goal? If you can answer all of these questions, you have created a SMART goal, whether it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal, that you can go back to during your plan of care to make sure you're hitting the mark and matching those goals to your interventions. So if you would like more practice in creating SMART goals and creating a program around those goals with feedback from us, the MMOA team, please check out our MMOA Level 1 and Level 2 online courses. Level 1 is starting tomorrow, Wednesday, March 13th, 2024, and it'll be running through May 7th, 2024. Level 2 isn't starting till May 16th, but if you've already taken Level 1, please join us for Level 2 in about 2 months. And if you want to put it all together and practice some outcome measures that you could use in your goals and interventions in person, we also have some live courses coming up as well. So March 16th to 17th will be in Newton, Kansas. March 23rd to 24th will be in Madison, Wisconsin. And April 6th to 7th, we have a quadruple header, so 4 courses at the same time. So we have Urbana, Illinois, Raleigh, North Carolina, Burlington, New Jersey, and Gretna, Louisiana. So if any of those places are close to you, please join us if you can. And if none of those are close, please check out the ptonis.com website to see if there are any other dates that work for you. I hope you all have a great day and rest of the week. Hopefully the time change isn't messing you up as much as it is messing me up. All right. Have a good day, you guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the MMOA podcast. If you found this helpful, please share with someone that could benefit. And if you're looking for more practical content to help you better serve older adults, head over to www.mmoa.online, where you can learn more about our free resources, our community, continuing education courses, and our certification. Once again, that's www.mmoa.online. Thanks for listening.